Welcome back to Sweet Science Boxing and MMA here in Hawthorne, California. I'm Chris, your boxing enthusiast, and with me today is WBC Latino Silver Featherweight Champion. Fair?
Yes, sir.
All right, Walter Schoolboy Sarnoi.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Be the Count.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thanks.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you came down. You got the belt out on display and everything like that. I've been checking out. I was saying that I've been checking out your Instagram, and you had a bunch of really cool posts after you picked up the belt. It was you and the belt, like in the bed, in the shower. You were taking the belt everywhere, right?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh man. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because you were saying beforehand that you had to go through your professional career, I should say, has been about 10 years.
Yes. And there are periods of inactivity where I wasn't fighting because it was hard to get fights because I wasn't, talking with the right people. But everything came across, and eventually, boxing is like life. You have your ups and downs.
Yeah.
And it's whether you want to stick with it or not. And, I stuck with it, and, I finally won my WBC regional title, and it was a dream come true to win one of my green belts.
Did you have an extensive amateur career before that 10-year period?
Yes, I was on the top 6 in the United States, and then I got a scholarship to Northern Michigan University, where I was coached by Olympic coach Al Mitchell, and I got a scholarship to pay for my schooling out there. So I got my bachelor's degree out there in finance. And
oh, cool.
Yeah, so I paid.
That's why they call you schoolboy?
Yeah.
Because you got the bachelor's degree to go with it?
Yeah, it's an Olympic scholarship. So yeah.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Awesome. So how long were you practicing as an amateur?
I started 12 years old, boxing at 12 years old, and in East LA, Eddie Heredia Boxing Club, where a lot of great fighters, a lot of fighters that today, came out of. A lot of everything, all kind of fighters that came out of, and it's just crazy because I used to get my USA Boxing magazines in the mail, and I used to read about NMU. And that's where all the Olympians are going, like Vernon Forrest, Timothy Bradley, Brian Valoria. Some of the great, like a lot of top boxers have been out of that university. I was like, wow, how did I get in? And I remember when I was finally going to college and going to school, and I was like, man, and how do I get in? I remember when I was 19, 20 years old, I was fighting in the National Golden Gloves.
Okay.
I was fighting against grown men, like 28, 29, 30 years old, even 33 years old, 35 years old at that time, because those were the rules back in the day. I've always wanted to get in, so I know I had to place really high or to get into the school, because I want to be representing, going to school on a boxing scholarship was pretty dope. Yeah. And I remember the Northern Michigan boxing team, the U.S. Olympic Education Center team, would always travel to all the national tournaments, and I was just like, wow, that's so cool. I remember I got the card, and I would call and send my application. I would get rejected. I wouldn't get accepted. I'm like, oh crap. But I remember finally, after the National Golden Gloves 2005, I placed really high. I got a bronze, and I lost to the champion, and it was a close fight, split decision, and it was from there. It's actually paved the way for me, because I was ranked in the United States now. I was number 6 in the United States.
Okay.
And I had a name, and I had a little ranking, and then I was also placing in the top 2, top 3 in all the national tournaments now.
Okay.
Boost my confidence up.
So did that make it, when you went professional, did that make it easier for you to were promoters seeking after you, or is that something that you had to network and get?
Network also. It was a network too. Yes, I was going to get signed. It was for a chump change.
Okay.
But for me being myself, I'm like, gosh, I know I'm worth more than this, So I stayed out as a free agent, and I ended up talking to trainers and matchmakers and just networking my way around there, And it's a really tough game. If I could advise anybody, I would love to give people advice, because when I fought my first pro fight, I fought against a guy like, it was they put survival of the fittest. That's what happens. And, usually you would think if you're an amateur prospect, professional prospect, they'll match you up with someone that you're supposed to win. No, they want to see what they're working with, so they give you a tough fight.
Yeah, so you've had tough fights from the beginning.
Plenty, yeah.
Yeah, from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So, that means your initial professional fights, you were still a free agent at that time?
Yeah.
So you were a free agent for how many fights before you?
So I've been a free agent for almost my whole career.
Okay.
But the reason why I was getting good fights is because I was networking and having good relationships with promoters and matchmakers. that's how they were able to give me fights. And there were fights that they want to see what I had, and I put it to the table, and they tested me, and I passed a few of the tests, and that's how I kept on getting good fights.
And that led to the WBC belt.
So this was another trip, right? For the WBC belt, I was a free agent too, but
okay, you're a free agent for this even.
Yeah, free agent for this. So now people are calling me now for matchup. It's crazy. It's cool though. It's cool. I like it.
Now,
you know?
now you're in control.
Yes, I feel a little more control, but now I have a little offers now for a little money fights, which is pretty cool. And then but I'm still free agent because I'm very, very lucky that I have sponsors that help me. Sponsors from China, Thailand, my country, and then after I won this title, this news went all the way to Thailand, especially George Foreman presenting me my belt, which is pretty freaking awesome. Like Maurice Hooker belting me,
the
president, and George Foreman being there, it just boosted it up dramatically. From it could have been down here, but it went up here.
Yeah, the experience was even that much more, right?
Yeah, and then George Foreman was talking to me, giving me a little pep talk, and I was just honored. And from that instance, man, it just helped me out so much. The news went all the way to Thailand, and my family from Thailand that I haven't spoken to in 7 years called me, or they emailed me, messaged me. They found me on Facebook. I didn't even know they had Facebook.
Yeah, they have Facebook. And
yeah.
Okay. So, can you share any of what George Foreman said?
George Foreman, man, you're doing a good job. You're making a name for yourself. Because I met him about in 2012, a few years ago, and he remembered me. He has a good memory, so he's not a punchy drunk boxer. He's
exactly.
pretty smart guy, a very well-rounded entrepreneurial type guy. I'll give you a little story too. So I'm a boxing fan, so I brought I knew he was coming, so I brought 4 gloves for him to sign, and I was like, oh shoot, like a fan.
Yeah.
And I freaking went up to him, gave it to him and everything, and hey, could you sign this for me? He's like, no, I can't do that for you. What do you mean? So I have something better for you. What do you mean? Okay, what do you mean? Well, I'm going to give you a signed glove with my certificate of authenticity.
Oh, cool.
And that's going to be worth a lot more because he told me that Muhammad Ali gloves, without their certificate of authenticity, there's a lot of phonies and replicas. And he told me, no, I want to do something better. So I've been waiting. And finally, last week, I got in the mail.
He got in the mail?
With the certificate of authenticity. And I was like, with his picture on it, with the sticker on the glove. It was so dope. I was like, oh, man, this is so crazy. I locked it up in the safe. So you ain't seen it. And people have been offering me, but I know it's worth something.
So he's a sweet guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah, because it's interesting because, at least back in the day when he was fighting Muhammad Ali, the perspective, he's just this beast of a man, you know what I mean? Like a killer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a beast in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. But a sweet dude.
But my friends were telling me, why did you ask him for a grill? I should have, man. I'm not shy when it comes to that. I'm not shy when it comes to that. I'll word it in a way like where, hey,
how do I get a grill?
I never had a grill before in my life, so I would love to have ask George to have my first grill.
Does he still do the grills?
Yeah, they're selling over Walmart, Target, everywhere.
They sell them everywhere?
Yeah.
I had one when I was a kid. Man.
Really? Oh,
yeah, we
so
had the
dope.
George Foreman grill.
That's so dope.
But no, so a lot of good things. I saw also you posted on Instagram, you were presented something by the mayor. Is that?
Oh, yeah, like Mayor of Downey, Mr. Rick Rodriguez. I work with the youth in the city of Downey for now, because I came out of this youth intervention program, when at-risk youth, and I was an at-risk youth at one time, and when some kid makes it out of an at-risk environment, it's something good for the program, to see someone that's made it out of the program and do something great, and they recognize me for that, and speaking to the youth and everything, and how to overcome your obstacles and make a negative into a positive.
Can you describe, in case people aren't aware, what it means to be an at-risk youth? What that term "at-risk" means?
At-risk means, being around gangs, drugs, violence, messing up in school, and just being around the wrong people that you shouldn't be around when your parents want the best for you. Came here to America, or whether your parents raised you to be better than them, and that's what it is to me, because. My parents came from Thailand, and first generation, and I know they came here for a better life, and for me to go backwards, they didn't come here for that, and yeah, I'm very, very lucky, and boxing has been great to me in that aspect, that kept me off the streets, but also being around programs like that for at-risk intervention programs, they helped me out so much.
How did you get involved with it as a young man? How did you get involved with the youth program that helped you do that?
So I got in trouble.
Okay.
I got in trouble when I was like 15, 16 for some stuff that I should have never been around. But
Sure.
But I think you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. And man, I was wild. I was a wild kid. I still am in a different way though. But yeah, this what happened, and I was around the wrong crowd. And for the person that was ahead of the program, he still is. He's a former Major League Baseball player, so he gave me mentors. He started mentoring me, Mr. Del Jackson, how it was to be a professional baseball player and how he had his downs and ups, and it was around drugs towards career out. And I didn't want to go down that path, and I don't want to go down the path of what every star athlete goes downwards to. Yeah, so that's what happened. And also a lot of programs helped me, mentor me, and I was lucky to be around the right people at the right time because, I'm just lucky, blessed.
And that's how you found boxing, is through those youth programs?
No, I found boxing from when I was around 12 years old. So I went to school. I was a little kid, so I would get picked on and got bullied and everything. And finally, my mom put me into like karate, and for me, it wasn't practical. I wasn't really good trying to kick people or something or give them a striking fist. And I mean, it's great. I mean, if I was good at it, but I wasn't good at it. And I told my mom I want to get into boxing. She said, no, like it's a very, very violent sport. A lot of it from a lot of parents' perspectives, boxing is very violent. And what happened was, I met a friend at the Boys and Girls Club where I was going. I have a friend, and I was like, hey, if you want to learn how to box, you can come over here to East LA. And that's what I did, and I took the bus all the way to East LA. I lived in Monterey Park, which is the next city over, 2 cities over, and that's what I did, and took the bus. My mom told me, if you want to do it, you got to do it on your own. That's what I did. So I took the bus when I was like 13, all the way from Monterey Park to East LA, back and forth, and I really was dedicated to it. And I know I got the first year of boxing, I got my ass beat, so I was getting my ass. So that's what happened, but I just looked up to a lot of pros, a lot of great amateurs, and that's what happened, and I got better, and after that, I started winning my fights, won my first few fights.
What kind of which pros were you looking up to? If you look at the fighters that sort of inspired you, who would they be?
You see Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay.
He was the man at the time, the golden boy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the golden boy, and Julio Cesar Chavez, and a lot of other great fighters, but yeah.
You mentioned to me that you're a boxing fan, and I was saying that a lot of people who come in who compete on the show aren't necessarily fans, but you can still sit and enjoy boxing even as a fighter. You can watch a fight and just
And so sometimes I try to stay away from it because when I'm out of the gym, I try to be away from the boxing gym as much as I can. But when there's a big fight or good fights, I'll watch it and I'll be a fan of it.
Are there any fighters today that you enjoy watching?
Today they just retired, like Andre Ward. I really like watching him.
Yeah.
His style of fighting and. Man, I loved watching Hopkins.
Yeah,
for as long as he did it.
Forever, man.
Of course, Floyd Mayweather's one of my favorite boxers to watch, even though he doesn't get the best public eye image. But he's one of my favorites.
Okay.
And Triple G, I've been in training camp with Triple G, and I really like the way Triple G fights, and he uses his style to the best of his advantage.
You mentioned something to me. I didn't know this, actually. So since you mentioned Triple G and we're sort of coming down now to the end of HBO's era in boxing, you were on HBO as a translator a few times.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So that came about because me, I like going to press conferences. I like going to media events, press conferences, workouts. So I talk to people. I have a someone told me in college, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So, it's true.
That's a good saying.
A closed mouth don't get fed.
That's a good saying.
My guy from the South, and he told me that. I was like, wow, really? So I always open my mouth, even though I open my mouth too much. But that's what happened. I was talking, and I was like, man, I know there's Thai people, translators, but the person that they used before wasn't that good. So I met this girl. She worked for HBO. I think she's one of the main executive officers.
Okay.
I forgot her title. I don't want to get her title wrong, but this is what happened. I was like, I'm a very persistent guy, So when it comes to like girls, too, I'm very persistent. I'm a very persistent person, so I don't give up. So that's me. And what happened was, I asked her, so is there any Thai translators? Are they using it? I remember I would just keep on nagging, and I remember calling the office and no answer. I was like, finally I called the office one day, and finally they answered and talked to the person. Yo, I need the Thai. Is there a Thai translator? So yeah, send in your information. I emailed the information. Was on it every day, bugging. I know I nag, and I know I shouldn't. I should give a little more space. But they told me, yeah, you're hired. You got it. I was like, it's so dope. I was like, wow.
So you've done translations for Sorang Visai, you said?
Sorang Visai and a few fighters on pay-per-view in Las Vegas and everything. On a few Pacquiao fights, too.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, like, that's... When it comes down to the translation thing, I saw you posted an interview where you're also speaking in Spanish.
Yes.
It's on Instagram.
Yes.
So you speak a few languages. Then.
Yes, I do. I'm very, very lucky for that.
So you learned Thai coming up, like as a child, I imagine?
So my parents, my mom is Thai.
Yeah.
And they all spoke Thai to me because of the Thai environment. And with the lady that took care of me, I had to basically raise my Mexican family when I was born. So my mom was a single parent. So
okay.
she left me with this Mexican family, and they took care of me till I was 13, about 12 or 13. And they spoke nothing but Spanish to me.
Okay.
So that's what happened. And
so you're fluent in both?
Yes. So
it's funny because I saw a meme with HBO now being out of boxing or their last event coming up. Someone said the best part about their being out of boxing is they don't have to listen to the Spanish translator anymore.
No, that's...
So maybe they should tap you for that too.
Yeah. No, I don't want... I mean, the Spanish translator is my friend, Jerry Olai. He's cool. Cool as hell.
You know what's funny is I don't speak Spanish, and so I can't... There's no way I could comment on how valid what his translations are or anything. But I have to imagine he's getting the point across.
Yeah, he's
it's not completely different.
No, I mean,
yeah,
so it's hard at the spur of the moment to translate word for word. Exactly. It's hard. Like, even the stuff that I say, I want to get the point across, and that's what I do.
Exactly.
And especially for the general viewer.
Yeah, you're just getting the gist of it out to them, right?
It's hard, especially when you're on the spot on camera and live on television. That's pretty tough.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
But so you fight out of CM Boxing Staples?
Yeah. Carlos Morales is crazy how we met, but yeah, we became friends, and we sparring partners too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Carlos was a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
he has a fight coming up on the 8th.
Yeah. It's a good fight for him in the title eliminator. So I'm definitely rooting.
Oh,
for
it's
him.
A title eliminator.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for him.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be out there checking that out too.
Yes.
And then another of your stablemates also won a WBC belt last night.
Prestigious title, WBC silver. I was really rooting for her because
Seniesa Estrada.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
because we both have the same trainer. And it's crazy because there was a time periods where both of us went dry with fights, couldn't get fights, didn't have a promoter, but couldn't even see ourselves probably fighting for a title. And now both of us happen to fight for WBC titles, which is pretty dope. Awesome.
Yeah.
Destiny.
I mean, you said something interesting about having the WBC title. Put you a little bit more in the driver's seat in terms of decision making and the next fights you want to make. Yes,
I'm ranked higher, but I have a belt under my name now.
You know, something I observed, like with the DAZN contract with Matchroom Boxing and ESPN now having the contract with Top Rank.
Yes.
And each of these are for, 40, 50 shows a year, right? So what it maps out to is we basically get boxing every weekend.
That's so dope. Yeah, right? I love it.
And I was thinking about this the other day. That's not just like in the past. There's been a few names who really they put on TV, and then you get the televised undercards. You didn't even get the full undercard a lot of times. Like with HBO, you just get in the last 3 fights.
Yes.
It seems like there's so many more opportunities now to be on TV or to be exposed through one of these platforms because they have contracts to do many, many fights. Right?
Yes, I just love HBO boxing. The way their setup is, their business structure. I loved it. But hey, I don't think they'll be gone for forever. I think they're gonna be back for some reason. I believe it, but I believe that the zone is really good for boxing too.
So do you feel like there's more opportunities for young and talented fighters like yourself to get on exposure? I guess.
Yes, I believe so. And this is a very short career. A lot of boxers don't know when their time is up, and some boxers, it's hard for them to figure out what to do after this sport. But at the same time, this gives them a platform to expose their skills while they can.
Yeah. You said that you check out fights also sort of as a media member.
Yeah, I love watching boxing, especially there's even the fights that nobody knows about. I'm a big fan.
Local fights and stuff like that.
Some local fights, but yeah, I love like title fights that people don't even know about, like even world title fights that are in the lower weight classes or cruiserweights too, and yeah, it's just great.
That's something else that I think I feel like is being popularized because so many shows have to be made.
Yes.
We're seeing a lot more of the lighter weight classes get some exposure as well. Do you watch like things like Superfly and like all this? Do you watch other people in your weight division on TV and stuff like that?
Yes, I do.
And are you being critical of them, or?
Yeah, I was like, man, they look good in front of these opponents, but it's a different fight it's a different fight with every fight and who they're gonna fight. Even though the odds might be stacked against them, it's it's a different style of fighter.
Yeah, because like. So who are the world champions are right now are like Gary Russell, Leo Santa Cruz, at your weight.
Yes.
Carl Frampton. I guess. So when you watch these guys fight, are you sort of trying to analyze what it is they're going through, how you would be in the ring with them?
Yeah, I do, and it's nothing out of the ordinary, but everything is different till you get in the ring.
Yeah,
put on the 8-ounce gloves, and may the best man win.
So what is, I've never really asked this. So I've heard, there are a lot of people who stay in the gym, they spar. You may not see them on TV or even in professional contests and stuff like that. Is the biggest difference between sparring and actual fight, like when you spar, for instance, are you going all out, or are you?
We try. We try to try, but if the guy's not working with you, then you're not going to work either. And if he's going hard, you're going hard too. But the fight is different from the sparring match, man, because for some reason, man, like you could look like shit, look like crap in the sparring, but fight day
still do well on the fight.
Look good on the fight, and vice versa. You have fighters that do look great in the gym and lose in the fights. So,
what do you think the difference is? It like the anxiety?
I think it's the mentality, man.
Yeah.
I was asked my coach, like, what do you think it is? And it's the mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know when I have a fight, I gotta, it's business, and I'll do whatever it takes to win. I think that's what it comes down to. For me, in my mindset, I'll do whatever it takes to win.
Sure. So do you, along those lines, are you constantly training even if you don't have a fight lined up? Like right now, are you in training?
Right now, I started the gym back on Monday. It's like the first time in a long time I've taken about 3 weeks off. But I felt it.
Because you just won the title.
So, yeah, so it felt really, really good. Like, wow, to actually have some time off, get some rest, have some food, eat good. But it felt good to actually. But throughout this 3 weeks, I was actually doing a lot of interviews with media and making appearances, which was pretty cool, which I wasn't busy with before, but now I'm busy with, and it feels good.
Do you have, so you're eating a lot of food, doing all that stuff. Have you had problems making weight or anything like that?
Over the past few years, it's been harder to make weight because I used to fight at 122 my whole career, which I can still make. But, I still work as a paramedic, but my job as a paramedic, they know that I fight, so they give me the time off I need, as much time as I need to get ready for a fight, and that's pretty cool.
Dude, so you're a paramedic.
Yes.
You have a bachelor's in accounting?
In finance.
In finance?
I got my master's, man. Yeah.
So you have the master's in finance.
Yes.
And then you're a world title holder. Or, I'm sorry, you're a silver title holder.
Yes.
A regional title holder.
Yes.
Man, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
How do you balance all that?
Well, I don't know, man. I just gotta do it, man.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
I just do it, man, and I just want to be a good inspiration upon any of the young generation coming up or anybody. You know?
Plus you're working in the community too, all that stuff.
Anybody I can help.
Wow, man. This is the guy to get out. If you guys have questions, this is the guy to reach out to.
Yeah.
You've done it all, man.
So I've been around, a lot of people, but, I learn from their mistakes and try not to make them again.
So I kind of deviated from the topic for a minute. So you were saying that you spent most of your career at 122. So
yes.
You've had some trouble in the past, but now you're at featherweight.
For now, yes. Until I believe if I go in a stricter diet plan, I believe I can make 122 again.
Okay. I've seen, like, for instance, on Seniesa's card last night, that was supposed to be the Diego De La Hoya card, right?
Yes.
And then he had some issues in the gym where he had, like, I read that he collapsed or fainted and had to go to the hospital. And that's there's been a few times this year instances where cats couldn't make their card.
Man.
Yeah,
it's life or death right there.
Yeah, so the weight cut has been like a I think, a big topic in terms of safety. I know the WBC even was evaluating new regulations around same-day weigh-in and stuff like that. So, yeah, I always like to so how do you stay on point with, like, nutrition and stuff like that?
For me, I'm very, very lucky, man. I got good genes. Like, I got the Asian genes, man. Asians, we stay skinny, and Thai people, I mean, you don't see a lot of heavy-set Thai people, but, I mean, we don't have a lot of grease to our diet when we eat Thai food.
Sure.
Maybe with rice in the morning, rice, and that's the carbs, but we burn it off eventually, and because we train and you work out, but, yeah, we have a lot of vegetables in our diet.
So you don't have to do a lot in terms of nutrition.
Yeah, but now that it's harder for me to wake. I have to do a little extra now.
A little bit. So like
work out longer, and then also I have to eat correctly now.
Okay, but it's all you managing that.
Yes, and I actually have people that help me with my meal preps.
Oh, okay. So you have people help you with your meal prep.
Yes, and I have a team that helps me and sponsors that help me and make it easier for me during training camp and everything.
Okay. And so you train here. A lot of your fights have been in Mexico, right? I know you had a lot of fights here, but you've also had a lot of fights in Mexico as well. Is that a different sort of experience fighting here versus fighting in Mexico?
It is because over here it's regulated. The commission's all on your hand wraps, just there staring at you. Over there in Mexico, man, if it's not a title fight, man, you just get up and go, man.
Really?
It's not as regulated as it is here in the United States, but I like that they're watching out for the well-being of the fighters.
Yeah, definitely. But so they're a little bit more relaxed and stuff.
Yes,
like that.
over there, yes. But it's cool because I've came across and fought the guy in his hometown. I've won, I've lost, but it's crazy because I remember knocking out the hometown guy, and the whole crowd was throwing everything at me, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. But we got out there and we won. So
they were throwing stuff at you in the ring. They were tossing stuff into the ring.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was cool. I mean, calling me Chino, because I'm Asian.
Yeah, I got you.
So it's cool, because I speak Spanish too and I understand. But yeah, that's the name of the game. This is boxing, and you're gonna have people that like and people that don't.
Definitely. So like, as you go and you mentioned that you have a loss or a few losses actually at this time. So your record right now is 21-4.
Yes.
21-4, and one of those was a rematch, right? So you went the same fighter 2 times.
Yes.
Do you feel like coming off of those fights, was there something that you changed, or did you just have to rededicate yourself to the craft, or?
Just experience, and also because if you're even losing fights, it happens. You lose fights, but if you're not learning from them, that's a different story. But I learned from them, and I thought I was gonna fight. The first time I fought for my first loss, I thought I was gonna knock this guy out because I never heard of him. He had a bad record, but I didn't look at who he fought.
Okay.
And he's fought great contenders and champions, and lost to tough fighters. And you have people that are journeymen with 50-50 records that are actually really good.
Yeah, that's true. I actually watched a number of fighters. I was at on Friday a Thompson boxing event, and one of the cats in the main event has didn't have the greatest record, but he's also fought Oscar Valdez. He's fought, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good names on his resume.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ended up getting stopped. One of the guys who was a former guest on the podcast, Michael Dutchover, stopped him, I think, in 3 rounds. Yeah, so good for him. Congratulations to Michael, by the way. I saw a lot of trippy stuff. Actually, a guy threw up in the ring.
Whoa.
I've never seen that before.
Signs of concussion right there.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it can be a sign of concussion right there.
Yeah, I should ask the paramedic. Exactly. That's a sign of concussion?
Yeah.
It was really peculiar. I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that. It didn't look like they were. This was on a different fight, but the dude spit out a lot, what appeared to be a lot.
Wow.
In the middle of the fight, and the referee looked down, and the commentators were saying there was there was substance in it, what I mean. It wasn't just blood that he spit out.
Whoa.
And the referee called a halt to it, and he had the doctor take a look at him, but then they let it continue.
Whoa, are you serious?
Yeah, they let it continue. It's really peculiar.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been crazy to see this in person or on TV.
You should have. So they should have stopped it then.
I don't know. I wanted to see what it was going. Maybe he ate too much too, we don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Are there any? I mean, you've had a lot of experience. You've been around the program for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any specific instances that you can remember where you're like, this was really peculiar, this was weird?
No, I've thrown up after a fight, and I did have a concussion. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've thrown up after a fight. That's how I know from experience.
And it was because you had a concussion
Yes.
from that fight.
Yes.
Did you win?
I lost, actually.
You lost that one?
That was the one I lost, and that's what my real loss. I'll take it because I should have never took the fight because I had food poisoning.
Ooh,
I should have just
that sounds awful,
yeah,
man.
the day before, and you just fight. We're fighters, and we just we won't say no, until somebody tells us or
Yeah. That sounds awful. Food poisoning
yes,
as you go into the fight.
yes.
So do you remember all your fights? Like if you going back to the first one?
Sure. My first fight I remember was here in California, which is pretty cool on a Thompson boxing card.
It was on a Thompson boxing card?
Yeah.
And you remember all your opponents too, or just
some
of
yeah.
them? Yeah. I'm always curious about that. Like, I feel like some guys can go back through their whole list of opponents. You know what I mean? And some guys are like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Thompson boxing cards are pretty good too. Another peculiar thing, I was talking to you about this just before, but I didn't really get into detail. So there was that DAZN card. You mentioned you watched the highlights for Jarrell Miller. So they put the whole card out there. So there's this fight, and I was saying it had it all.
Yes.
What I mean by that is it had suspense, it had drama, it had comedy. It was theater. It was like absolute theater. Leroy Jones versus Manny Thompson.
Okay.
So for anybody if you have DAZN and you didn't check out that fight, it's already there. Just go back and check it out. Leroy Jones versus Manny Thompson. So I literally started taking a list of notes, things that occurred during this fight that I'm just gonna run down because I almost can't believe that it happened. So,
wow.
So first they couldn't find the referee.
What?
The referee was missing, so they started the bout, and then they just had to stand in the ring until they could find.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Referee Kevin Champion. This is in Wichita or something like that.
Kansas, huh?
Yeah, it's in Kansas. So I'm not sure.
On the Rios undercard.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the Rios undercard. So this was in Kansas in Wichita. Referee Kevin Champion goes missing. And the two guys, one of them is a full-time police patrolman. He was 7-0, and then he retired for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, he was inactive for 3 years, and then he came back. This was his 8th professional fight. So
wow.
he was undefeated in 7 fights. And I should ask you about this because you mentioned that you've had inactivity to the tune of a year or so in between each fight. What is coming back off of inactivity of that duration?
It depends. I mean, if you've been active outside of the ring, whether you've been training, staying in shape, that has everything to do with it. I mean, if you're gonna come back and do well, if you're not doing it within that time, if you're having a year inactivity, meaning you're not training or not in the gym working out at all, that's a different story. But if you're training, working on your craft in that year, there's a lot that can change too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess there's like the Tyson Fury kind of inactivity where you put on, a good almost 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And then the Andre Ward type of inactivity where you look like you probably go tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how well you do. So a full-time policeman off a 3-year layoff, 7-0, fighting a guy who's a full-time barber in Leroy Jones. So the favorite, who's the guy who's 7-0, he gets dropped in the first round.
Wow.
He goes down at the end of the first round after controlling the round. In the second round, there's a double knockdown.
Whoa.
So they both land. They trade shots. They both go down. Referee doesn't call it. He calls them both a slip. Referee Kevin Champion decides that they both slip, makes them stand up. In the next round, the referee goes down.
Whoa.
So the referee, I don't know if he took a shot or if he slipped or whatever, but the referee hits the canvas in the middle of the round. He has to get up and continue. The next round, that same round, there's a point deduction for a low blow, and Leroy fights most of the round without his mouthpiece.
Wow.
So he spit his mouthpiece out part of the way through the round and fights basically the whole rest of the round because the referee doesn't notice until there's less than a minute left.
Whoa.
His mouthpiece goes out again in round 4 and twice in round 5.
Wow.
So the referee gives him a hard warning, obviously, and tells him next time it comes out, you lose a point.
Yeah.
But it's a close fight. So his corner doesn't want him to lose a point. So you know what they do? They send him out without the mouthpiece for round 6.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, dude.
He tells him in the corner, I'm going to send you out without the mouthpiece because I don't want you to lose.
Wow.
I don't want you to lose the point. And he asked him, "Are you okay with that?" And the guy goes, "Yeah."
Wow.
So he went out without his mouthpiece for round 6. And then something that I just thought was suspicious that nobody else, I guess, really pointed this out. But what's up, Devon? Devon says it's the most ridiculous fight you've ever seen. Devon, that's going to be my fight of the year. When you come on at the end of the year and we do fight of the year candidates, that's going to be my fight of the year. It has everything that you could possibly want in a fight. Something I thought that was peculiar about this, Devon, let me know what you think about it too. The corner asked for a specific water bottle.
Okay.
Is there a reason why they would do that? So, like,
maybe one's cold, one's not. I don't know.
Yeah,
one has a sports drink.
Yeah, like it's okay. I suppose it could be like one, but he basically said, "Hey, I need a water bottle," and then someone went to give him a water bottle, and his corner was like, "The other one. I want the other one." I was like, "Oh, that's really peculiar. I wonder why he would differentiate between the water bottles like that."
You know, I'm thinking because when I had my title fight, they gave us a rules meeting and everything. We had a rules meeting after the weigh-in. They asked the corner asked, "Do you want to have Gatorade in your corner, and would you like?"
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it could be that.
So sometimes you could have Gatorade in the corner, or
Yes.
a sports drink,
Yes.
something with electrolytes
Yes.
besides water.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw it initially, I was like, "That's weird. Why does he care which water bottle it
Yeah.
is that they give him?" But yeah, it's definitely. If you guys didn't check it out, please go back and check it out. But so did you see any highlights besides the Jarrell Miller one?
No, I just saw the highlights.
Just the highlights.
Yeah.
So Rios, you were saying this was on the Rios undercard. So
Yes.
Rios fought. He made his return on that card
Yeah,
too.
I was really wow. He won my knockout, right?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
He did against the elder Alvarez brother,
Did
Ramon.
did he
Ramon
look?
Alvarez.
Did he look like the Rios before, or how did he look as the Rios?
He started to. I would say that he started to. So meaning early on, he looked like he was getting beat up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was afraid in the early going, like after the first 2 rounds, I mean, that it was going to go bad for him. You know what I mean? Against Ramon Alvarez. And he turned it up. And he started applying pressure. And he may have been losing some rounds, but the guys were trading a lot of really hard shots, man.
Wow.
They were trading shots where they're all power shots, you know? It's like not a lot of jabs and stuff like that. They're like in tight, all power shots, and he got the better of him. I think so. That was his first fight on DAZN.
Wow.
We'll see what he does with the other welterweights in the division.
Yeah.
What division do you think is like popping the most right now? Which
I
one?
say welterweight. It's tough because there's good fights in every weight class that are televised also.
Yeah, there's definitely fights in every
Yeah.
weight class. Some divisions seem to be giving up. We have a big heavyweight fight coming up here in LA.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go to that one?
I should be able to, but I'm actually getting a award with the WBC in Mexico City the next day, so I'm thinking about it if I should go or not.
Yeah, you got to get the award, right?
Yeah, I gotta get the award.
What's the award?
In Mexico City.
Well, yeah, but what is it?
I guess sports award where they have all the Mexican wrestlers and
Oh, what?
yeah, Mexican wrestlers, a lot of WBC champions.
Kind of
and-
like the ESPYs or something.
yeah,
like that.
something like that. So I'm pretty stoked for that.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Yeah, so I'll be in Mexico City and
You make a trip out of it?
yeah, make the most out of it.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Take it to the grave.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you. Can you tell me about how you actually got the notice of the fight? So, like, was it a phone call? Was it like the big fight, the title fight?
So what happened was, it was my dream to always fight for the WBC title, and I know to get to the WBC title, the world title, you need to win the regional titles
Okay.
to get ranked in there, and to have one of those green belts is like, man, have a dream come true. This is like it, man. Everybody, has a dream. Like, you have the IBF, WBA, WBO, and you have the green belt. Everybody knows the green belt, and
Most prestigious. Yeah.
and I've been watching people fight, some of the great fighters, even fighters from Thailand fight for the green belt, and I've seen that since I was a little kid. So what happened was, I know that I didn't have a promoter backing me up. I just talked to promoters, matchmakers here and there, and I asked. I went to Mexico City on my own expense, and
Okay.
every Tuesday, the WBC has a press conference to the community It's called Martes de Cafe every Tuesday, Tuesday Cafe.
Okay.
And it's about what they're doing in boxing, how they're helping the community, how the WBC's being involved. So the WBC is really big in Mexico.
Yeah, of course.
That's where the headquarters is, and I remember I went down there to talk and make my name known, make myself be seen around Maurice Hooker and get talked around. And I want to be representative of the WBC. I want to be a role model for the youth. And there's like, you know, when you talk to the championship committee chair, and they're like, yes, okay, take it on a card, you know. Like, come on, man. It's like just like another person trying to ask them like to fight for a title, you know.
Yeah.
So what I did was make my way, just make a relationship. I flew back and forth to Mexico City, making my relationship with him.
So you were going back every week, or was it just every times a month?
I think every month.
Every month you were going back to
maybe even twice a month, if that, and making my relationship with them. And finally, I said, yeah, you know, I think we have a vacant title, and it's vacant now. And if you would like to fight, you know, if you have a promoter, we can host the fight. Just talk to the promoter. So I met this. I've known this promoter for a while in Mexico, and you know, and it's hard for me to trust people in this game. And I talked to him, yo, man, I don't know if you had a WBC title fight in your area in Guadalajara, but it would be great. I mean, I have the approval. Maybe you could talk to him, and I pretty much set that up, and the rest was history. And I got my title shot. I had to fight a opponent with a good record, and that was tough, and that's what happened too. So I had to perform on the day that I helped, you know, when it came time to do it.
So how much time passed? Like, how long did you cultivate that relationship before you actually got to compete for the title?
After I negotiated all that stuff, not negotiated, like try to pretty much.
You started going to the cafe and all that.
Like, yeah, pretty much I was doing that, and I was pretty much being the diplomat for fucking.
Yeah. How long was that though?
It was weeks, months. Like, man, it's crazy, man. Like, man, maybe I was thinking, like, man, should I fight like WBA, WBO? Maybe it's easier because I can't even. And then finally they gave it to me. I had about 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks to, you know, get ready.
Yeah.
And that's when I got the confirmation. That was it. And finally, day of the fight, day of the win, it was all good to go. And I finally set that up, and I was ready, and I rose to the occasion and fought and won my title.
Yeah. So you mentioned being in the driver's seat, but how much of this is also influenced by the WBC in terms of future opponents and rankings and things like that?
Everything is on the approval of them, pretty much.
Okay.
On their approval, and they had to approve the opponent, and it approved me to even fight for it, and that's what happened. I was approved, and I'm very, very blessed, and never forget that what I had to go through. And yeah, I'm got my green belt now, and now I'm ranked in the WBC, and now I'm gonna go fight for the WBC silver title, world silver title.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, what are the steps now for you towards a world championship?
Yeah, my goal is to keep winning. Got to keep winning. I can take the route through Mexico, where the WBC is not, known in Mexico, and fight there, rank contenders there, and we'll keep winning those fights, and I will get my WBC world title shot.
Who's the WBC world champion?
It's Gary Russell, but
okay, it's Gary Russell.
But I know that the WBC silver title is vacant, and that's what I'm aiming for right now.
Okay, the WBC silver title.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you'll go WBC silver is sort of the next step in the lineage of titles before you go to the world championship level.
Yes, sir.
Still independent, you're operating.
Yeah, but it's gonna change soon.
That's gonna change soon?
Yes, really soon.
Okay. Any announcements that were made?
No.
I have to ask. Okay, that's cool though. So, do you anticipate being able to fight for the vacant WBC silver title?
I do. That's one of my dream titles.
Okay.
I'm already there.
That's something that could plausibly happen in the near
future.
Very
soon. Having the WBC silver title is like, for me, is like, man, one of the dream critics by, man. It's like the world title is big, and it's green, and it's one of the most prestigious titles.
How about this? When are you looking to fight again?
I'm looking to fight in January, February.
Okay, so January, February.
Late January, early February.
Okay. But there's no plans in terms of an opponent or anything
Not
like
yet,
that
but I know it has to be a ranked fighter now in the WBC for me. And I'm planning to do that. And, gotta make a name.
Now that you know that, do you keep track of all like the ranked fighters who you may have to compete with for the silver belt?
Yes. Pretty much they're on a lot of them are in Latin America, all those ranked fighters in my weight class. And then you got Gary Russell at 126. But I'm not worried about it because I know every fight is going to be tough. Every fighter is going to have hit hard, be fast.
At this level?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to be prepared yourself. So that's what I got to do.
What about pursuing other titles at like 122? Because you mentioned you still think you can get back down there. Is that something where you would look at that as well?
Yeah, if I had the time, I can get down to 122 and be strong. I'm a big 22 and 26.
So either one you're okay with?
Yes.
Interesting, man. So do you watch, for instance, like tape on all these fighters and stuff like that?
Not all the time because for me, I'm like, fuck. I mean, all these fights that I watch on TV, they're not the same, like every fight is different.
Yeah, that's true. So when you're does your coach or someone on your team go and evaluate
my
tape
coach
of your opponents?
My coach will do that. Like he'll tell me what shots I need to work on because my coach now, Mr. Dean Campos, he's a very defensive coach, and I like that for me now at this age.
Yeah,
I'm at 32, and I feel like it's very, very good for me to do. I mean, I don't like getting hit much, and I want to have a life outside of boxing too.
Sure, and it looks like you're building one too. You got a lot of stuff going for you outside of boxing.
Yes.
Somehow you're able to stay hungry. Like I can tell as we're sitting here, you're talking about all the steps that you want to take, going to the silver championship.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you can still make 2 different weight classes. One might think that having all of the education and having everything that you have outside of boxing, that it would be difficult to remain hungry and still want to compete for those titles and go through the grueling process, because like the training camps and all that stuff, it can be difficult on the body, and of course, like you said, some people perceive it as a violent sport.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that edge comes from, or how do you keep it?
It's tough. I think just getting the recognition that you want, and also just fighting for your dreams, keeping your dreams alive, and that's what it is for me. Because it's not about the money. I mean, it is because the money, because if you fight for a good fight, a tough fight, you want to get paid for it, of course, right? But for me, it wasn't about the money. It's about leaving a legacy, accomplishing your goals and your dreams, and making a statement. Of course, winning your dream title.
So basically, you still have goals. You still have aspirations that even though you have these other things outside of boxing, there's unsettled business.
Yes,
so
that's what keeps me going.
Okay. Now you mentioned, so you're 32.
Yeah.
Is that right? So you're 32. So you mentioned at this age, you don't like to get hit as much. You like working on defense and things like that at this point. Do you feel differences from when you were younger, say in your mid-20s?
Yes, I used to train like 3-4 times a day. I used to just train right. I went after the other, just go at it, be active. But I still am. But now I need more rest time now.
Okay, you have to pace yourself a little bit more.
I rest a lot now.
Okay. I've heard that from a lot of fighters. So how long is a wind down period before you fight? Are you training all the way up till the fight, or do you kind of let off the gas?
I mean,
at
a
some
week
point?
before the fight, I like to wind down, not do anything hard, and just sweat it off the last few pounds.
Just sweat off the last few pounds. Okay. But in terms of, physical capability, you feel as capable as you've ever been. It's
it just takes me longer.
It just are your training camps longer than they used to be?
Shorter.
They're shorter now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do how long about is your training camp?
Like 2 weeks, but like before I used to go 3 months hard at the high intensity.
Really?
And now I pace myself, work my way up.
Okay. So like that high intensity piece is really only like that 2 week 2 week period.
It depends. It's also state of mind too, and that's what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, there's a lot of different stuff that you have going on, but you said that, like, for instance, as a paramedic, they'll let you take.
Yeah, they let me take the time I need to train for a fight, and I'm really lucky that they let me do that because my supervisor likes boxing and everything, so it's pretty dope.
So you're just surrounded by people who love the sport. It kind of helps a little bit.
Yes.
That's funny. Oh, man. Do you keep track of it? So we talked a little bit about Tyson Fury earlier, and we were talking about whether or not you're going. I don't know if you heard that he's actually going to be cornered by Freddie Roach for this fight. Mm-hmm. So he's been working out here in L.A., and I guess his dad couldn't get a visa, and so Freddie Roach is going to be working his corner as a cut man, not as like his... I don't know if he's going to be the chief second or not. So I kind of wanted to ask about How much of a difference do you think that really makes to a fighter? And I understand that the corner and who your main trainer is and all that stuff can make a difference.
Depends on the fighter. You know, you got fighters that can adapt to whoever's in the corner, or you guys got fighters that are not used to having anybody else but their trainer.
Yeah, exactly.
And it depends. You know, I like adapting to whoever it is, you know.
Sometimes I think the media is kind of shaping it up like it's an advantage, you know, because it's Freddie Roach, right? It's like Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach, but it's like having Freddie Roach for a few weeks while you train in LA and then work your corner. I kind of wonder how much an advantage is that really?
Yeah.
Could it even be a detriment? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could it hurt you not having regular people in your corner?
We'll find out on fight night.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like the mind games that Tyson Fury plays, though.
What do you mean?
He plays around and talks smack, and I love the way he puts on a good show.
He comes up on this podcast all the time, and it's mostly because I think the character that Tyson Fury is just so entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, like he's developed a whole personality or a whole character, which isn't. And you can see there's moments where you see Tyson Fury and he's actually very humble. You know what I mean? And you see him in interviews, things like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, where he seems very down to earth, maybe even wise, considering some of the things that he's gone through. But when it's time to do the press conferences and all that stuff, that character, like the Gypsy King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
that
so
comes
dope.
out,
Yeah,
like,
I love it. I love it. It's pretty dope.
The Gypsy King is a good one, man. But Schoolboy is a great nickname too, actually.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Got it from Bobby the Schoolboy Chacon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he actually I remember when he was alive, and I told him, yeah, is it cool? Get your name, because I know it was your name, but everybody started calling me Schoolboy in college, and that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah, it's cool. I always like hearing the origin of the nicknames. Yeah. You know what I mean? Carlos came on. We talked about the solution. You know, all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. In terms of like venues and stuff like that, what are the venues like in Mexico that you're participating?
Depends. Some big venues and small venues.
Oh, okay. So you've been in both, obviously, throughout your career.
Yeah, club shows. I've been in the gutter, everywhere. But I mean, it's a good experience. I experienced a lot of venues and different small to big shows, and it's pretty cool.
Did you ever have, so you were talking about networking.
Yes.
You were also saying that you more or less arranged your title fight, right? So you're talking about getting, did you have ambition to do something in boxing besides being a boxer, like being a manager, promoter,
eventually,
trainer?
I believe I will be a manager one day, because I have, you know, I would like to help other fighters make good decisions.
Yeah, you were saying you have a lot of knowledge to share, having gone through all this experience.
Yes.
So like it seems like management or other aspects of the game might appeal to you.
Yes, absolutely. Management, even maybe not matchmaking, is a tough business, tough job, but maybe even promoting one day. But I would like to manage a fighter or two.
Do you think you learn enough about that just by being in the position that you're in now as a fighter? Or is it sort of a different craft and skill set?
It's a different craft and skill, but I've learned from being around the business side, the fighting side, every different side of the sport. So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked that, I believe I have a room for boxing, a life in boxing somewhere.
Life in boxing after boxing?
Yes. Life in boxing after boxing, yeah.
What about commentary? Would you ever consider doing that?
Yeah, eventually I believe I'll be a decent commentator, but we'll find out, right?
Yeah, definitely. You could do it in 3 different languages, man. That's got to open your avenues up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You could be on TV, all kinds of different channels and stuff like that. See, I should have thought of that. I should have took up Spanish at an earlier age than I did, for sure. Let me do a quick recap for those of you on just to some of the things that went down. So
how many we got on right now?
It changes. It goes up and down throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
So we have, looking at it in terms of time, so we've been on for about 53 minutes, and there's people who've streamed over 6 hours of the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like people kind of come on, they watch for, let's see, on average 10 minutes, 12 minutes, you know what I mean, kind of thing. They'll come off and on. So that's sort of how it works. I can get all the numbers afterwards.
Okay, cool, man.
We'll go through it. Just a couple things that have gone down over the weekend. So Clarissa Shields was on the DAZN card as well. Won a unanimous decision over Hannah Rankin. So that was for 3 of the belts in the middleweight division, I believe. Nice. All gone to Clarissa Shields. Hannah Rankin, I believe, replaced Christina Hammer who's the other undefeated competitor at that weight division. Yeah. You like Christina Hammer?
Yeah, she's cool. She's good for the sport.
She's good for the sport?
Yeah.
I really was excited to see this fight, and I was disappointed that she had the injury,
Yeah.
so she had to back out. I thought seeing, especially after Clarissa Shields in her last fight, she got dropped like in the first round and looked kind of vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it made it even more appealing. You know, you see some vulnerability on one side and stuff like that. So that one was cool, but she was fighting Christina Rankin. They said she's like a professional classical musician.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard something like, wow, it was pretty dope.
Or Hannah Rankin. Yeah, I was like, oh, wow. She's a classical musician. This is so much talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish I could play an instrument. Do you play anything?
A little bit, yeah.
You do?
I played for a few years.
I knew you were going to say that you did.
Well, why'd you say that? Why do you say that?
Because you do everything. Speak all the languages. So I was like, I know he's going to say he plays an instrument too. Can you draw?
No, I can't.
Okay.
That I cannot do. Fuck, I have chicken scratch.
Okay, no drawing or anything?
Yeah,
no
drawing. No, I got chicken scratch.
I was going to say, you were building sort of the Renaissance man resume. had to figure out where the weak spot was. So they're drawing. And then, as you mentioned, Big Baby Miller. So Bogdan Danu, they 42-day turnaround. What's the fastest turnaround you ever had for a fight? Do you know?
I mean, in Mexico, they'll go 1 week after 1 week.
Yeah, you're right. So there's no regulation. You can fight
the next week. If you win one fight, you can fight the next week after that.
Oh, man. I thought 42 days was fast for Jarrell Miller. Because he just fought in Chicago.
Yeah.
They said like 42 days ago. So he just came off and then went straight back in.
Who do I know that's really active is Tevin Farmer, right? Tevin Farmer is really active. And I like him as a fighter.
Tevin Farmer is great to watch.
Yeah. I like him a lot as a fighter.
He also has like a really interesting story. Like Tevin Farmer. Just like everything about his experience leading up to where he is now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're starting out his career with losses, right?
Starting off the career with the losses, and then wasn't he like a shot in the hand or something like that?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't know too much of that, but I know he's overcame the odds.
Yeah, and then he won all those fights in a row after that. And now he looks spectacular. Yeah, that's the thing. Like he started off with the losses, and you watch him now, and you're like, wow, he looks extremely talented. He's a fun dude to watch for sure. But he's very active. Big Baby Miller. Coming off the 42, he was having some problem with like his hamstring. He kept having to stretch his leg throughout the fight. I was like, I wonder if that's because he just fought 40-something days ago.
Gosh.
And then Anthony Sims won. This was really interesting. So Anthony Sims won his bout at super middleweight. I think he's Floyd Mayweather's cousin. He's undefeated.
Okay.
I think he's 17-0.
Okay.
Now 16 knockouts, or is it? Yeah, 17-0, 16 knockouts.
Wow.
But he was doing a fight at super middleweight. It was his first fight there at 168. And after the fight, Sergio Mora does the commentary on DAZN.
Yeah, he's we have the same trainer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he does the commentary on DAZN. So this was interesting because he said to Anthony Sims after the fight as the commentator, like, it's time to step up your competition, right? Like you got to go and fight some better people. You're doing well, but like you need to fight people who are better, not guys like this kind of thing. And he called out Sergio. He was like, well, if you want to find out, I'll fight you on the next.
What happened?
On the next DAZN card. Sergio just said, because it was on DAZN, he was like, Eddie, let's make it happen. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
It was interesting, because I guess Sergio had been critical of his footwork, like in his last fight. And said his footwork wasn't all that or something like that.
Kenneth Sims, Anthony Sims.
What's that?
What's his name? Kenneth or Anthony Sims?
It's Anthony.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Anthony Sims. Anthony Sims Jr.
Okay.
Actually, he should be right up here. Yeah, Anthony Sims Jr. versus Colby.
Okay. So,
I mean, he laid this dude to waste. The Colby Quarter, 13-12.
Gotcha.
And so I guess Sergio had been critical of him in his last fight, and I don't recall that, but I do remember seeing that fight on DAZN. And so they brought him in together, and Sergio just said, "Hey, you need to now is the time to step up your opposition. You're fighting guys you should be fighting guys who are better." And so he's like, "I'll fight you next time if you want to see how good I am."
Yeah, shit. Wow.
I was like, "Oh, that was interesting."
Wow.
Interesting exchange. But yeah, so that happened. And then this week also they announced the undercard or PBC did their 2019 lineup.
Yes.
So Al Heyman put out all his 2019 stuff.
Wow.
So let me see. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I know that Keith Thurman is going to fight Josecito Lopez.
That's cool. I mean, good for Josecito, man.
Yeah.
Really.
He's a local dude too, right?
Yeah. Getting big fights. I fought in those undercards, but starting out as a pro.
I'm sorry. You fought on his undercard?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So that was one. Keith Thurman, Josecito Lopez. Keith Thurman has to be coming off. We were talking about inactivity earlier.
Yeah.
That dude's been inactive for over a year at least.
Yeah.
Right?
Injury.
Yeah, for the injury. And then Leo Santa Cruz and Miguel Flores. So down in your neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Uzcategui and Caleb Plant. Sean Porter, Yordanis Ugas. Errol Spence Jr. and Mikey Garcia. That's probably the biggest announcement that came out of the
I like Yordanis
PBC line.
Ugas a lot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I do like him a lot. I like his style of fighting.
Ugas is entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And then, Lamont Peterson, Sergey Lipinets. So I think the biggest one out of it is Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, probably. What do you think about that?
Errol Spence and Mikey, that's going to be a good fight. I mean, I like Mikey a lot. I actually fought him in the amateurs.
You fought Mikey in the amateurs?
Yeah, he beat me by split decision.
Split decision?
Yes.
Oh man, you took him the distance.
Yeah,
there.
at 125.
At 125?
Yeah, at 125 pounds. And what I'm thinking, it's going to be a good fight. I mean, Mikey is a really good fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter. He can do everything. But the thing is, for me, I'm speaking from a neutral perspective that, Errol Spence might be a little too big. He's big, but but that's what I thought when Mikey was fighting Lipinets too, and he dropped Lipinets.
He did, but Lipinets did well in that fight.
Yeah.
Considering, I think Lipinets at the time only had 13 professional fights or something like that.
He's a former kickboxer.
Oh yeah, he's a kickboxer.
Yeah, professional kickboxing champ.
So I've seen more and more of those recently. Dudes who started out or women too who started out in kickboxing and then sort of transitioned over to that. Yeah, that's interesting. But you talked about the size discrepancy. Obviously, that there's a size difference between these two fighters. But they showed him do the face-off, and you're like, wow. It's like, you know what I mean? It looks like when Rocky's fighting Drago or something like that. You're like, whoa, that's it's like a really big size difference. It's not a.
Speaking of that, are you watching Creed 2?
Oh, of course, man.
Hell yeah.
Of course. I checked the times. So the first showing of it here is on Tuesday.
Are you serious? Oh,
yeah, this coming Tuesday.
Oh, man, I got to go now.
Yeah. So I'm on this Tuesday, and I'm super excited to see it.
Me too.
In fact, I saw that one of the guests who was on the show on our second episode, he's in the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
DJ Walton.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the vice president of USA Boxing.
Okay.
And there's this clip in the preview where Adonis Creed is fighting out in the desert. He's training out in the middle of nowhere, kind of like Rocky did in Rocky 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude he's fighting is DJ Walton.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what? Check that out.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna have to ask him how he got it, how he got that gig. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
So
I watch them all.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Rocky fan and a Creed fan, so it's pretty dope.
Yeah. Plus, you said you need more rest time now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how you get it. You go watch Creed 2 in the in the movie.
You pump me up to get to the gym.
I'm there opening day.
Yeah.
No, seriously, because I know that it was gonna. I think I actually said this it came up on the last show, and I had told my wife hey, on Thanksgiving I'm gonna go and watch Creed 2. You guys don't have to go, and then I found out he's gonna open on Tuesday, so I won't miss Thanksgiving. I'll be there. It's all good. But definitely gonna watch it. And then I think Caleb Trout and Peter Quillen for PBC, Danny Garcia and Adrian Granados.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's some decent fights. I think some of the frustration or clapback that I hear is Al Heyman's biggest welterweights. None of them are actually fighting each other, though. Right? Because if you look at, they have everybody. They got Keith Thurman. They've got Errol Spence. They've got Sean Porter. They've got Danny Garcia. They made fights for them all in 2019, going all the way out through April 2019. But none of those cats fighting each other, though.
They'll fight eventually.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. It's the same thing kind of with heavyweight.
Yeah.
With heavyweight, you're I hope a lot of these. I'm glad that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder decided to mix it up.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I hope Anthony Joshua starts fighting some of these guys too. That's the thing. Like, you get to, guys like you, where you are in your career, like I was saying, you have so many things going on, but you're still young and you're still hungry and you're fighting. You want to fight for that silver title. You want to fight like, you're like, I want to fight for
I want the green belt.
Exactly. I want to fight for the best available opposition, kind of, right? You want the green belt. And so sometimes I think business gets in the way of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
At the highest level, you could see where you're like, oh man, the business just gets in the way of it. But I mean, Mikey's an independent too. Right, like I think Mikey does everything independent still.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe that's the way to go now.
If you can do it, if you can afford to do it, then do it, man.
Yeah, that's true. Because then you don't have to, the network type wars. You don't have to deal with, being on DAZN versus being on ESPN Plus, being on something else. Which, do you subscribe to all those services?
No.
You don't?
But I'm gonna start subscribing to DAZN though.
Okay.
Because I would maybe one day find the zone. Who knows?
I was gonna say, is that a hint? Did we just get? Can I quote you on that? No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I subscribe to them all, but it's still hard to keep up.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep up with everything. But yeah, and then I think that's pretty much it. They also announced because Canelo has his fight coming up in just a few weeks.
Yeah.
Rocky Fielding, so he went up to 168.
I might go to New York for that. I think. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna check out the fight?
Yeah.
Is that Barclay?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be November 3rd. I'm going to Chris Algieri's fight in New York.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's right.
From close friends. We were in the same circle. We have a same circle of friends.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we'll go out to New York at the cold-ass weather and go to New York and watch his fight.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris does, like, the nutrition thing now,
right?
Yeah,
he's smart with that.
Yeah, like, he's, like big into the...
Yeah, a lot of fighters, big fighters, UFC and boxing hire him to do the nutrition plan.
Yeah, he works Danny Jacobs' corner,
Danny
right?
Jacobs.
Yeah, as a nutritionist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just must be into, like, he's just really into that, I guess.
Yeah, he's into that, and he's a fighter himself, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he makes for entertaining fights. So.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in a lot of times, like, even in losses and stuff like that, he's really, really entertaining fighter to watch.
Yeah, except for the Errol Spence one. I hated that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Errol Spence one. But, like, I liked the fight with Amir Khan. Like,
that was a good fight. Really good fight. Yeah,
I thought that was a great fight.
Yeah, really competitive fight.
Yeah, and their styles seem to mesh well. Like, they made for an entertaining fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a kickboxer too, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
World champion kickboxer.
World champion kickboxer.
Yeah.
Man. That's the thing. Did you mentioned that you started in karate before you went to
karate, but I never did kickboxing because Thai people are known for Muay Thai kickboxing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it was just in my blood to fight.
Yeah.
It was in my blood to fight, and I found out that my father fought fighting Harada when I was like 14 or 16 years old. He fought the world bantamweight champion. At that time, there was only one world champion for the ring belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
And I didn't know that till, growing up.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I was already fighting.
Do you think any of the skills that you learned from karate transferred over to boxing, or do you just have to relearn everything?
I think I had to relearn everything because boxing was different for me, but I just had the alertness from everything in my life.
Yeah, sure.
Being alert is just, it's natural for me.
Yeah, you met a lot of the fighters doing the kickboxing transition.
Yeah.
And I always wonder how they go about unlearning some of the habits that they picked up during kickboxing, because there's some crossover.
Yes.
But there's also some things that don't, like the stance,
Yeah, definitely the stance.
And stuff like that. So I'm sure that it's harder than someone who's starting from scratch because they kind of have to unlearn what would be considered a bad habit in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I'd be interested in hearing about, just because it's like yeah. But no, I think that's it that happened this week. And I know there was another fight, which was Maurice Hooker.
Okay, yeah,
Alex
yeah.
Saucedo.
I remember that fight. Yeah, I was watching the highlights, and man, Maurice Hooker, man, that I felt like that fight was more favored for Alex Saucedo to win because they fought in his hometown, right?
Yeah.
And now Maurice Hooker did it. He overcame the odds, and not even overcoming the odds, he made a statement.
Yeah, it's a statement win for sure.
Yes.
A statement win for sure. And by all accounts, a very entertaining fight. And I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. I actually didn't see it.
No, really?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I'm really disappointed because, like, there's some weird dispute between DirecTV and I lost like access to ESPN3.
Really?
Yeah, I lost access to ESPN3, which is what the fight was shown on, and I tried to run it back, and it was like, no, you can't access it. And I was like on the phone and trying to figure out what happened. Yeah, it wasn't good. I was really upset that I didn't get to watch it. I'm gonna try and figure it out though.
Yeah.
Get to it. But apparently it's really good. I haven't even seen the highlights yet. I just read about it.
The highlights are dope, like really cool. Yeah.
No, I'll definitely check it out because everybody says it was a good fight. But before we take off or anything, I also want to make sure that I give you a chance to plug anything that you want to plug, your Instagram, if there's anywhere that we can follow you or check out where you're going to be at for your next fights, anything like that.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Walter Sarnoi, Sarnoi, Walter Sarnoi, all one word. And you can get me through there with Instagram or Facebook, and I have a Facebook fan page. But yeah, I'll stay in touch with everybody as much as I can because, we're always on the go. But, we keep everybody updated and, around the boxing circle. And anybody that loves boxing can follow me because I'm always around. I'll be at the Manny Pacquiao press conference on Monday or Tuesday. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and you post some cool stuff on Instagram, too.
Thanks, man.
You have some interesting training methodologies, it looks like. I've seen you, like, in the hyperbaric chamber doing the, I forgot what it's called, but, like, with the cups.
Yes, cupping.
Cupping, yeah. Does that help?
I like cupping. I've been doing it for a long time now, but, I mean, it's an ancient China. They've been doing it for thousands of years, Chinese people, and relieving the toxins and taking the toxins out of your body. But so I've been doing that. Yeah,
so it's like so they heat those, right? And then like
some are heated or some are suction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So heated or suction, yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah. So that's like something that I haven't seen a lot of different fighters do. So when I came across it, I was like, oh, what a trip. Yeah.
Interesting. Check it out yourself.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And then the oxygen chamber, I seen you doing that, right?
Hyperbarics,
The hyperbaric chamber, yeah.
Good stuff.
How does that helps with just the lung capacity stuff?
No, recovery.
With recovery?
Recovery, yeah, it's good stuff. And a lot of like cancer and surgery patients go in there.
Okay.
Because it helps with recovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like something that you would use after training, for instance.
Before, after, during.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, definitely check out his Instagram.
Okay.
It's cool to watch.
Nice.
And of course, you can follow us at Beat the Count on Facebook, at Beat the Count on Instagram, BeatTheCountPodcast.com, and on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify. I'm forgetting some. I'm forgetting Podbean, whatever. And if you guys have any suggestions, anything that you want to, you can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or the team at BeatTheCountPodcast.com.
Sweet.
All right. Thank you very much for coming out today, man.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Any questions, hit me up. And thank you, Chris, for putting on a great freaking show. I was gonna say great effing show, but I'm gonna make it appropriate for everybody to listen to.
Anyone could listen to it.
Anyone could listen
Always
to it.
thinking about the audience. You
know
what I mean?
So anybody, man, I'm listening to all your questions and shoot me, and I got you.
Yeah, man. It sounds like you have a wealth of experience to share. So make sure to hit them up on Instagram. And thank you guys. We'll check you out next week on Beat the Count. And have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace out.